My name is David Roberts. I was formerly Whitney Houston's bodyguard, and I have the pleasure and honor of speaking with, for an awful long time, Quincy.
Most people never see them. They blend into the background, wear the same expression whether the crowd is cheering or charging, and they carry more responsibility than almost anyone else alive. They know where their client sleeps, what they eat, what their children look like, and who wants to hurt them. And they take that information to the grave. Today, we are going inside the world of the most secretive and powerful celebrity bodyguards who ever lived, and the extraordinary stories almost no one knows about them. Starting at number 10, and this one proves that the most important people in the room are often the ones you never look at twice. Julius DeBoer is Beyoncé's personal bodyguard, and he has been a constant, almost invisible presence in her life since 2008. He was there at the births of her children. He was standing just feet away during the now infamous elevator footage of Solange Knowles and Jay-Z after the Met Gala. He has shadowed her through every world tour, every awards show, every public appearance for nearly 2 decades. He is Dutch, raised in Amsterdam, holds a psychology degree from the University of Amsterdam, and founded his own international security firm at the age of 24, with offices in New York, London, and Abu Dhabi. He speaks 5 languages. His professional profile lists expertise in dignitary protection, intelligence capabilities, risk assessment, crisis management, social media monitoring, and worldwide VIP transportation. Number 9. The man who inspired The Bodyguard was a real person, and his story with Whitney Houston was closer to the movie than anyone realized. David Roberts was a former Scotland Yard police officer who became Whitney Houston's personal bodyguard in 1988, working alongside her through the height of her career. He protected her from delusional fans, stalkers, and what he described as people who waited until tour season to ask her for money, knowing she would give it. He said she was too generous with her heart, her money, and her love, and that it did not serve her well. Roberts later said that much of what appeared in the 1992 Kevin Costner film was drawn directly from their real working relationship, including the technique of Houston holding onto the back of his jacket to move through crowds. He admitted in his memoir that there was one evening when she rested her head on his shoulder and he was briefly tempted to cross a professional line. He did not. He said crossing that line would have compromised his objectivity and made her less safe, which was the one thing he would never allow. When she died in 2012, Roberts said he was devastated that he never got the chance to say goodbye. Number 8. Kevin Costner made a promise to Whitney Houston before they started filming, and he kept it for the rest of her life. Costner served as a producer on The Bodyguard as well as its star, and he later said that he sensed early in production that the director was intimidated by Houston and was not giving her the guidance she needed. So Costner stepped in. He told her he was going to take care of her on set and that she would be good in the film. He promised. He kept that promise. The two developed a genuine friendship that lasted until her death 20 years later. When Houston died in February 2012, Costner was receiving calls from the public to participate in tributes and kept saying no. Then Dionne Warwick called. He could hear in her voice how exhausted she was. He said yes before she finished asking. He spoke at Houston's memorial and described himself afterward as just her imaginary bodyguard. But what he did was real. He protected her reputation on screen, and he showed up for her family when no one could protect her anymore. Number 7. The Secret Service agent who ran toward JFK's limousine when every other agent froze is one of the most studied figures in the entire history of protective security. Clint Hill was 31 years old and assigned to Jackie Kennedy's detail on November 22, 1963, in Dallas. When the first shot rang out, he was on the running board of the follow-up car. Every other agent nearby stood frozen in confusion. Hill ran. He sprinted across moving pavement toward the presidential limousine as it accelerated, leaped onto the back of the car, and pushed Jackie Kennedy back into her seat as a second and third shot struck the president. He was the only Secret Service agent captured in the Zapruder film doing anything at all. He was decorated for bravery. For years afterward, he blamed himself for not moving fast enough, a trauma that he eventually addressed publicly in a series of memoirs and interviews decades later. Hill went on to serve 5 presidents, from Eisenhower to Ford, and he died in February 2025 at the age of 93. And now we are right in the middle of this list. If you have not subscribed yet and you want more stories like this one about the people who live in the shadows of fame and power, hit that button right now. New videos go up every week, and you do not want to miss them. Number 6. Putin's inner security apparatus is so classified that the people closest to him are required by law to retire at 35, and even their waste is collected and destroyed during foreign travel. The Federal Protective Service, known by its Russian initials FSO, is one of the most secretive security organizations on Earth. Its roots go back to the KGB's 9th Directorate. Candidates for Putin's personal close protection unit must hold a foreign language, hold elite athletic credentials, and pass psychological assessments designed to identify the highest possible profile of loyalty under pressure. By law, close protection officers in the Presidential Security Service must retire at peak physical age, currently set at 35, to guarantee there is never a moment of diminished capability in the protective ring. When Putin travels abroad, a dedicated team collects and destroys his biological waste to ensure that foreign intelligence services cannot analyze his health data. His food is tested in traveling laboratories. His itinerary is kept secret by the FSO until the last possible moment, even from the locations being visited. Number 5. The most feared bodyguard in Hollywood history never showed emotion, never spoke in public, and made enemies disappear without a single word. Mo Austin, Mike Tyson, Prince, and a long list of major entertainment figures have had protection details that operated in near-total silence, but the broader archetype of the old-school Hollywood enforcer, the name-free presence behind the velvet rope, operated on a code that is now largely gone from the industry. Before the professionalization of executive protection, the people who stood between celebrities and danger were often former military or law enforcement figures who relied on reputation alone. The rule was simple. You never confirmed a threat. You never acknowledged a confrontation in public. You removed the problem and acted like nothing had happened. Number 4. Michael Jackson's security team quietly became some of the most trusted and operationally disciplined protection agents in entertainment history, and they have kept almost everything they saw to themselves. Jackson traveled with a rotation of personal protection agents throughout his career, and the level of threat management required was extraordinary even by celebrity standards. The combination of global fame, active criminal trials, and genuinely obsessive stalker behavior from a small percentage of his fan base meant that his team had to operate like a government protection detail. Matt Fitties, one of his former bodyguards, has spoken publicly about specific moments, including Jackson's internal reaction to the Eminem situation and how calm and strategic the man was when people expected him to be reactive. Number 3. The Beckhams have spent an estimated £1 million annually on personal security for years, and their protection protocols more closely resemble those used for heads of government than traditional celebrity arrangements. David and Victoria Beckham have operated with professional security teams since the late 1990s, and the investment has only grown as their profile expanded globally. The level of threat that came with David's status as the most recognized footballer on Earth, combined with Victoria's own global brand, created a protection requirement that went well beyond what most entertainers deal with. Multiple former members of law enforcement and special forces units have rotated through their detail over the years. The protocols include pre-arrival sweeps of locations, counter-surveillance during travel, and a level of advance work before public appearances that most people associate with political figures rather than entertainers. Number 2. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt reportedly spent around $2 million per year on security at the peak of their relationship, and the logistics of protecting a family with 6 children across multiple continents was genuinely unprecedented in celebrity protection history. The challenge of protecting the Jolie-Pitt family was not simply one of scale, though the scale was enormous. It was also one of geography. The family moved fluidly between homes and filming locations across multiple countries, often in regions of the world that carried genuine security risks. The protective team had to cover a family that included 6 children of varying ages, maintain credible perimeters in locations ranging from secured compounds to active film sets, and do all of it without ever appearing in a photograph, a social media post, or a newspaper story. And the #1 most secretive and powerful celebrity bodyguard story belongs to a man most people have never heard of, which is exactly how he would want it. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, a small circle of protection professionals became the architects of what modern celebrity security actually looks like. They were the first generation to treat the job as a discipline rather than a service, to build advanced protocols, counter-surveillance procedures, and crisis escalation frameworks that are still used today. They came largely from military and intelligence backgrounds. They did not seek attention. They did not publish memoirs. They trained the people who now stand behind the biggest names on Earth. The names at the top of that lineage are almost entirely unknown to the public. That is the highest possible achievement in their profession. The best bodyguard you have ever seen is the one you did not notice was there. That is the world behind the world. The people who stand between fame and everything that wants to destroy it, and say nothing about any of it. If you want more stories like these, the next video is already waiting. Go watch it now. See you there.